Welcome to the Deep Dive. Our mission today is to really cut through the noise and give you the critical insights you need on the evolution of commercial real estate. We're focusing laser-like on the Dallas-Fort Worth market. And specifically, we're tracking these really dramatic shifts in retail and mixed-use development, drawing entirely from the news you've provided.
It's clear from these sources that DFW is, well, it's really the epicenter of two foundational trends that are intersecting.
Okay.
First, you're seeing suburban geography get completely redefined by these massive multi-billion-dollar mixed-use developments. They're essentially creating new cities overnight.
And the second trend?
The second is that national retailers are adopting these highly innovative, right-size formats. They're not just occupying space anymore. They're curating experiences to survive and really to thrive within these new environments.
And to anchor this whole discussion, let's start right in the heart of all that growth.
Right.
Frisco, Texas.
A perfect place to start.
It's right here that Belk, a retailer with, 136 years of history, is launching its brand new, smaller concept, Belk Market. The fact that one of their two debut locations is right here, at the center of Preston Ridge in Frisco, that tells you everything you need to know about where the smart money is heading.
It absolutely does.
Okay, so let's unpack this transformation and look at the sheer scale involved here.
When we talk about DFW transformation, you really have to grasp the scope. This isn't just about building a new shopping center.
Yeah.
It's about establishing entirely new economic centers. You look at the PGA Frisco The Fields project. This is anchoring a $10 billion, 2,500-acre development.
The city within a city.
It is. Built around the PGA headquarters, a 500-room Omni resort, the golf courses.
And what's interesting there is the driving force. It seems Frisco secured this through a very aggressive public-private partnership.
They did, and they leveraged their brand identity as Sports City USA to do it. They weren't just selling land, they were selling a tailored destination. Very. And the numbers are just staggering. The ultimate aim is 10 million square feet of commercial space and 15,000 residences.
Wow.
That level of density, both residential and commercial, it fundamentally changes traffic patterns and consumer behavior for decades.
And Frisco's not alone in this. We're seeing a nearly identical narrative playing out
In Denton, Texas, with the landmark master planned community.
Yeah.
That project is also valued at $10 billion at full build-out, spread across 3,200 acres.
Okay, so this is the new model.
It seems to be the future suburban community model. It'll have 6,000 single-family homes, 3,000 apartments, and 5 million square feet of mixed-use space.
And the first phase, what does that tell us?
It confirms the strategy. The first phase alone has 600 apartments and a major anchor, like an H-E-B grocery store.
Ah, the grocery anchor.
When you introduce grocery and housing at the same time, you are immediately creating a self-sustaining ecosystem.
So if we look at those two massive developments, Frisco and Denton, is DFW essentially creating competition for its own downtown cores. These are self-sufficient environments.
That's precisely the challenge, and it's a strategic one. They're attracting high-value residents and businesses. But that success, it raises an important planning question for the existing established corridors.
Which brings us to McKinney.
Right.
While these huge projects are building on new land, an existing artery like SH5 needs some guidance to stay competitive.
Exactly, which is why McKinney City staff pitched a small area plan. They recognize the risk of just unplanned growth.
So what's the goal of the plan?
The goal is to examine redevelopment opportunities and then guide the creation of a specific tailored development code. A council member said it explicitly. They want to avoid ending up with the same product type over and over again.
And when we look at suburban history, what is that generic product they're trying to prevent?
It's the standard big box strip mall or the outdated power center that lacks density, lacks connectivity, and just has zero pedestrian access.
They want walkability.
They want walkable, mixed-use environments that hold long-term property value. And the city staff estimate the third-party consultant to create this plan will cost between $200,000 and $300,000.
A pretty small investment to guarantee long-term asset quality.
A tiny investment for that kind of return.
That focus on quality, curation, and connectivity, whether it's in a $10 billion new build or a $200,000 redevelopment plan, it reflects a total paradigm shift in real estate management.
It absolutely does. And this change is why you see a company like JLL promote Paul Chase to lead their U.S. lifestyle property management division. His focus is entirely on this rapidly expanding mixed-use sector.
So how is lifestyle property management fundamentally different? What's the practical change for our listener?
It's a move from being a landlord to being a community curator. Traditional management focuses on rent and maintenance.
Right, the basics.
Lifestyle management focuses on anticipating what tenants and, crucially, what consumers need next. It means budgeting for events, for programming, unique retail mixes that attract high-income residents. You're managing a destination, not just a static building.
That concept of curation brings us perfectly back to the retailer side of this equation. If the property managers are acting as curators, the retailers have to match that energy with their space.
Exactly, and Belk Market is a perfect case study. They are taking the traditional sprawling department store footprint, which might be 150,000 square feet, and shrinking it down to a highly efficient 25,000 to 30,000 square foot format.
And the advantage isn't just saving on rent, is it?
Oh, not at all. It's about eliminating inventory fatigue. They can offer a curated assortment of brands that are specifically tailored to the demographics of that Frisco community.
So the selection feels fresh.
It can change quickly, which forces repeat visits. And we see this pattern elsewhere, too. You have H&M and Urban Outfitters debuting smaller formats that focus heavily on customized assortments.
This adaptation is clearly driven by the bottom line, even for successful companies. We saw great financial news from Kohl's in their Q3 report.
Right, a third consecutive quarter of outperformance. They even raised their full-year guidance.
And even though net sales were down slightly,
The improvement in traffic, particularly among their cardholders, shows that efficiency and appealing to that core loyal customer is working.
meanwhile, Abercrombie & Fitch also topped Q3 estimates. But the story inside those numbers is really telling.
They were bailed out, frankly. By Hollister sales surged 16%, with comparable sales up 15%. That strong youth-focused performance just completely offsets the 2% drop in the legacy Abercrombie brand.
Does that suggest that DFW developers need to look harder at segmenting their space? To maybe capture concepts targeting younger demographics over some legacy brands?
Absolutely. The success of Hollister, which is focused on Gen Z, proves that relevance is perishable. The real estate strategy has to align with brands that know how to continually refresh their identity and their space.
And speaking of brands with a clear identity, while some are right-sizing, other hyper-growth companies are betting big on the physical experience. Skims is a phenomenal example.
A digitally native brand completely reversing course.
Wow.
Kim Kardashian's $5 billion brand is laying the groundwork to become a predominantly physical business.
Predominantly physical, so from online to brick and mortar.
Right. They have 18 stores now, including one in Austin, and they plan to accelerate that expansion rapidly.
So how does a brand like that transition? What are they optimizing for in their site selection that a traditional retailer might miss?
They're optimizing for brand visibility and a high-touch experience, not necessarily inventory density. They know their customer profile perfectly, so they're only placing stores in Class A, high-traffic spots where the store acts as a marketing tool, not just a warehouse.
And this growth is across sectors.
Yes, Shipley Donuts, for instance, is on track to open a record-setting number of new shops in Q4, and it's heavily weighted toward Texas expansion.
Okay, let's turn our attention from brand growth to asset transformation. When you're dealing with older, high-potential assets like Class A malls, repositioning is everything.
And veterans like Sendid Mathrani and Stephen Levin have a clear playbook. They target high-potential centers that just need a shock to the system.
Like the play.
They acquire them and deploy significant front-loaded capital, we're talking $100 million to $150 million, up front to create density and new traffic drivers immediately.
That's a massive capital investment. Is that level of upfront cash even realistic for most traditional mall owners?
It's largely limited to institutional players. The risk is high, but the reward is higher. Look at the Annapolis Mall case study. They acquired it and quickly drove occupancy from around 70% to 92% leased.
How?
By converting dormant anchor boxes into experiential retail, like a Dick's House of Sport, and adding a 500-unit multi-family residential building where the old Sears used to sit. The residential part is the density's secret weapon.
And this strategy is playing out directly in our backyard. Stephen Levin's company, Centennial, is doing a major project at the shops at Willow Bend in Plano.
Correct. They are intentionally demising or shrinking nearly half of that 1.4 million square foot mall to make room for a mixed-use destination. It'll have apartments, a hotel, offices, new outward-facing retail.
It's a calculated move to inject new capital and foot traffic.
Which the traditional mall format just couldn't sustain anymore.
The lesson seems to be, invest massive capital to create density. But what about driving traffic immediately through low-cost, high-impact innovation? The Franklin Park Mall in Toledo gave us a fascinating nugget on ROI.
They leveraged localized marketing using 5 University of Toledo student athletes under the name, image, and likeness, or NIL policy.
The hometown heroes approach.
Exactly. And the investment was shockingly small.
How's
It was tiny. $2,500 for the NIL contracts and $1,400 in gift cards, a total of $3,900.
And for that $3,900,
It generated a reported 1,500% ROI.
a 1,500% return. That's incredible. It suggests that hyperlocal celebrity trust just works exponentially better than generic national ad spend.
Absolutely. The results showed it. Direct retailer sales tied to the marketing hit $26,000. JD Sports exceeded its month one sales projection by $100,000 after an athlete appearance.
And that's not all.
No. Foot Locker's August sales increased 17% year over year. The impact was so significant that Abercrombie & Fitch renewed its lease because of the campaign's success. It just proves that strategic, community-embedded marketing is critical.
Now, let's pivot slightly and address the other macro force shaping retail real estate: technology. It's changing how consumers order, how companies build, and where they locate.
Right. This convergence of efficiency and automation is best seen in the food service sector. Sweet Green is debuting its first Infinite Kitchen Sweet Lane location.
Okay, what is that?
It blends automated kitchen tech with a drive-through, but crucially, it's exclusively for digital orders placed in advance.
So the physical store is being re-engineered for quick pickup, making site selection less about impulse foot traffic and more about accessibility for the digital consumer.
Correct. And AI is moving rapidly into the consumer-facing shopping journey, influencing the path to purchase before a shopper even thinks about going to a store.
We see that with Shipley Donuts rolling out an AI-powered ordering assistant. But the biggest shift is coming from external platforms like ChatGPT.
Definitely. OpenAI introduced a new shopping research feature designed to build personalized product guides. You can tell it, I need durable trail running shoes under $150, and it instantly researches, compares reviews, and delivers a curated buyer's guide.
It bypasses the traditional discovery process entirely.
It does. And this directly influences the need for physical retail. If consumer research is done by AI, does the physical store risk becoming merely a fulfillment center?
Instead of a discovery space?
It forces the physical store to double down on what AI can't deliver, that immediate, high-touch experience. And the retail giants are already reacting. Target is launching a beta version of a ChatGPT shopping experience in their app.
Finally, we have to touch on the broader financial context. A KPMG 2026 forecast predicts acute refinancing challenges for both retail and office sectors.
This is a major headwind everyone needs to acknowledge. The forecast suggests that 30% of maturing loans in these sectors are at risk of defaulting or needing restructuring.
So we should anticipate a period of loan workouts and distressed sales.
Especially through 2026, yes.
So if 30% of loans are at risk nationally, how should that translate into thinking for the DFW market?
It translates directly into opportunity for institutional capital. When highly leveraged Class B and C assets need to be offloaded, that creates a window for well-capitalized investors like the Matherin 11 playbook to acquire and reposition assets at attractive valuations right here in DFW.
But the sources also show a silver lining here. Unlike office, the retail sector is stabilizing, particularly for necessity or experiential retail.
That's the key. Cap rates for high-quality retail are averaging a steady 6.5%, and transaction volume is up 10% from 2023 lows. So while the sector faces risk, quality assets in high-growth areas like DFW remain highly desirable targets.
So what does this all mean for you as you navigate DFW retail real estate? The core insights are pretty powerful. DFW is defined by massive scale in new mixed-use developments, like the $10 billion projects in Frisco and Denton.
And at the same time, existing cities like McKinney are proactively spending capital to guide that strategic redevelopment.
And retailers are adapting aggressively. They're right-sizing, like we see with Belk Market, while simultaneously betting big on the physical experience, like Skims aiming to be a predominantly physical business.
And the success stories, from the phenomenal 1,500% ROI on that local NIL marketing to the rapid turnaround of assets like Annapolis Mall, they confirm that strategic investment and deep market insight are what's separating the winners from the losers.
The future is about marrying community relevance with operational efficiency and strong targeted capital investment. And given the rise of AI assistants like ChatGPT influencing what we buy, and the move toward highly curated physical spaces like Belk Market and automated concepts like the Sweet Green Infinite Kitchen, this raises an important question for you to consider.
Yeah.
How rapidly will this push for automation and AI-driven personalization influence the ideal physical store layout and drive-through strategy in the DFW retail market in just the next 12 months? That's something to mull over as you plan your next move in these complex, rapidly evolving markets.